effect on the brain. World has gone insane. Things are starting to get heavy. I can't.
Every interaction that I have is over this app now. So, you know, it's a crazy year, but everything's good. Relatively, I think.
Will come to Moscow in July 2021. I hope everything will be okay.
Me too.
So this concert was supposed to take place this summer, but it was postponed like many others. And how much has the concert crisis affected 21 Pilots and all this pandemic situation?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, like you said, there are shows that we've had to cancel or move. And so I think that it's been tough. It's been really tough. There's people that rely on touring for a job, for money. And there's people that can't make money now because there's no tour happening. And I think for us, it's just it's tough, especially to have in our minds already and kind of mentally prepare to be somewhere and then not be able to do it is really hard. So I think it's hard and difficult in many ways, but yeah, the biggest is kind of just having to readjust sort of expectations. And even like you said, hopefully everything goes smooth for this these upcoming plans. In reality, we don't know. And that's the tough part too, is I think when the whole pandemic started at the beginning of the year, maybe technically the end of last year, but really started affecting our, I think a lot of our lives in the beginning portion of this year. We really didn't know what was going to happen, how long things would take to get back to normal. And I don't know where you guys are at now, but it's crazy over here. Things are kind of locked up and then not, and then people break the rules and then it gets worse. But ultimately just kind of feels like it is taking a lot longer than a lot of us anticipated. So that being said, that's another, I think that's another tough part of this, is realizing that we don't know when it's gonna, when it's gonna come back. So in the meantime, we're trying to just kind of work on music remotely, but kind of use this time to work on that, which again is difficult because we don't know when we're going to be in front of people again. And a lot of times when writing music, we use this idea of being in front of people as kind of inspiration for how a song is going to look, and even sound. There are moments in the writing process where we're thinking about what that's going to look like live, and right now we don't know, so that creates challenges even in writing.
Yeah, so about this whole pandemic situation, a few years ago you said that you suffer from anxiety, and can you tell us how does this whole situation affect this feeling? How can you deal with it?
That's a great question. I definitely have in my life. There have been moments worse than others and times worse than others where anxiety is a real thing. And as a young kid, I didn't know what that meant. And then when I was in my teenage years, I realized what that felt like and what that was and what it was logistically to kind of suffer from that while traveling and while having to be around people or in front of people. And a lot of it does come from the unknown and feeling like you want to control a situation that you can't. And there's a whole lot to it. And I feel like I've learned a lot about anxiety over the years. And I think that Yeah, I think for everybody, if you're somebody who doesn't typically deal with or feel anxiety, this has been a year that I think a lot of people have felt it to some degree, just because of a lot of the unknowns and a lot of really negative things happening, from people getting sick and dying, loved ones that maybe have gotten this virus and passed away or have recovered. People don't know what to do about money and their jobs and providing for family, and so it's been really hard. I think there's a lot of reasons why people would have worse anxiety. For me, I think that a big thing that I've found and discovered that has been probably the most helpful with that is how I treat my own body and my mind through exercise and what I eat as well. But I think that when there was a day that I was just feeling about to have a panic attack, and I ran out the door and just went for a run. It was like this kind of a instinct thought, and I was just like, I'm just gonna maybe try and get my mind off of this somehow, and maybe this will work. And I really felt that it did, and that was something that I then sort of became addicted to, and really I was able to I think while I was running and my heart rate was up, I felt like I was in control of that and my brain wasn't. And as a result, I was able to then sort of structure my thoughts better. And so I think that through the process of running or any form of exercise, I've been able to examine my own thoughts, and really it's been healing in a lot of ways. And then with kind of what you eat or drink, I realized quickly that caffeine made anxiety a lot worse. And so when I'm feeling it more than other times, then I definitely try to cut back on that and just drink a lot of water and just try to be as healthy as possible. And that's something that worked for me, and maybe it doesn't work for everybody, but I think the idea of looking at yourself and trying to cross things off the list of, well, this helped or this didn't help, but ultimately having that sort of list and that self-awareness of what maybe certain things make your mind a little bit worse, and then trying to find a solution to make it a little bit better. Music is a big one too. I think when you're feeling anxious or worried, again, for me, I think that a lot of time has to do with the unknown. If I just put on some music that I know or love, that helps me to kind of go to another place, and it kind of evens me out a little bit. And comedy as well, to be able to go into a space of laughter, I think in some ways means that your body and mind are relaxed and comfortable enough to be able to react in that way. And so I like comedy a lot. I like to put on stand up or put on a funny show or a funny movie, or music or run. And I would say that those are the things that have helped me the most.
We came to the most important thing. So when will the new album come out?
Well, I don't have, I guess I don't have a full answer for that. We're currently still working, and I think that because it really is me and Tyler working on this, I think it probably takes longer than some artists coming out with albums, because it's, we don't have other people really helping us, and also logistically we're in different places, and so we both have our own studios, which is really nice. And so he comes up with a lot of stuff there at his studio, sends it over to me, and then I come up with my some stuff here at my studio, and then send it back. Not exactly the same exact type of mail as in the level of concern music video. It's a little more digital than that, because I don't think we need to wait that long to get files back and forth, luckily. But yeah, it's a lot of just kind of just back and forth and working remotely, which in the past we have done, but not to this extent. It's pretty much fully remote right now. So I guess I don't have a full solid answer for you on when when it's going to be released, but hopefully sooner than later. We always really want it to be right and as good as possible, rather than just kind of throw stuff out there just to have it be quick.
Yeah, that's great. So will there be a new bunch of puzzles and riddles?
Probably safe to assume that there will be some things that people have to figure out. But I do know that, I think in terms of the level of concern puzzles that we did, that was kind of, that was really fun to do, especially because it was just, sort of like the beginning of this crazy unknown time. And a lot of us were in the beginning process of kind of quarantine and being on our own. And I know that we were all looking for things to do anyway, and that felt like a good, timely thing to do.
How will the year of 2020 end? What do you think?
In the perfect world, I think that somehow we find a solution to this virus, and I think people start loving each other more, and caring about each other, and treating each other with respect. And that includes online. I think the internet has become a place where people can, there's a lot of power online. I think that that's a really good thing, but there's a lot of kind of darkness on there too, and hatred. And so I would love to live in a world where I can get online and not see people hating each other, and sending negative energy. And so I think just positive energy is what I would hope for. And concerts happen again. I think that would be really important and really good for me, mentally and personally. But I think a lot of people would enjoy that. I don't know. Yeah, I think those would be pretty huge things to happen at the end of this crazy year. And they probably won't, but I think that regardless, we can go into the next year realizing that some of the terrible things about 2020 are going to carry over, and us knowing that personally we can do our part to love each other and to try and spread positivity and lightness in a world that feels like it's increasingly getting darker and darker. So that's what I hope for, and I hope that comes true.